back with another short story and of crowd control. And this was at the same place. I think it was the same night as the last story. And there were these two girls, the two Jessicas, and the night started off where they recognized one of my friends, so we all introduced each other, and they said something along the lines of, "Okay, we're trying to find, this place is boring, I'm trying to find someone interesting." So they started to walk away, and I stopped them and went into the invisible deck. And they responded with, "All right, how'd you do that?" Just like anyone else. "All right, how'd you do that, really?" And I was just like, "I turned your card upside down before I met you guys." And they're like, "No, really, like, how'd you do that?" And so I said, "All right, tell me a funny or weird or controversial story. And if I don't think it's any of those things, then I'm not going to tell you. But if it's a good enough story, you can even lie, but just entertain me briefly. And if it's good enough, I'll reveal a secret to you, even though I wasn't about to reveal the invisible deck under any circumstances then." And so they didn't. They just wanted to know. They didn't even try. They couldn't even lie on the spot and make up some story that happened to them when they were a kid. It was just like, I guess their lives were, they were either that infatuated with knowing or that uninteresting. Because, anyway, I don't want to get into any hate. Anyway, so now I've established, okay, I can run into them any point in the night and then show them another trick. And so I left them with them being upset that I wouldn't reveal the secret to them. And so I'm walking around and talking and mingling and hanging out with my friends. And I walk past them at one point, and one of them gives me the evil glare stare. And so I call her out, and I was like, what's with this face? What's with the stare?" "I'm mad at you because you didn't reveal the trick. You didn't tell us how it works." And I was just, so then I just moved into another trick. And so I pulled out, I had two rubber bands, and I was about to do the quantum physics, crazy man handcuffs. And one of the girls says, "You have 30 seconds to entertain me." And I was like in this position. And she said, "You have 30 seconds to entertain me." And I was just like, "No." And she was like, "What? What do you mean?" I was just like, "No." She's like, "What? Why aren't you going to do it?" I was like, "I can do it, but I'm not going to." And they like looked at each other, and they just kind of looked at me just like, "Who does this guy think he is?" And then I just walked away. And because I don't need that. That's unnecessary stress. And you didn't work for my approval in the beginning. Why should I bend over backwards for you? You know, there's plenty of other people here. I'm here to have fun, have a good time with my friends, not to entertain you. And so I left and cut it off at the source. Whenever something's going wrong, stare it directly in the face, call them out on it in an assertive way, and be courageous and assertive. Just cut it off at the source and be done with it. So that was another story. We'll keep coming up with more of these as we go on. So a week has passed since the last video that you just saw was filmed about the two Jessicas, and I went back to the same bar with my friends the following Thursday, and the two Jessicas were there, and I won't say I avoided them, but I was more paying attention to my own stuff, and they were talking to my friends or whatever, and I was out on the dance floor with my one friend who just loves Victor. Victor loves to dance, and so I was dancing with him and another friend of mine, and one of the two Jessicas, the blonde one, comes up to me and stops me in the middle of the dancing and screams over the music so I can hear it. And she says, "We need to talk now." And grabs me by the wrist and pulls me off the dance floor. And basically, what ended up happening was she said, "So I learned your little magic trick. Yeah, your little invisible deck." And I was busting her balls about it, so it was fun. And but I want to read you guys something that she said the night of the original incident, because this was really interesting. I heard later in the night that she was talking to someone, and they said, "Oh, is this the guy that you wrote about?" And I was just like, this should be interesting. So, this is what she said on her Facebook status. She said, "Seriously, this guy at the bar last night was walking around doing this card trick, assuming he uses this as a pickup method. And I have to admit, after thinking all night and morning how it was done, I guess it worked. I'd go out with him in a heartbeat just to learn the damn trick." So, that was interesting because I blew her off, and instead of like trying to please her, I just walked away and didn't accept that kind of attitude from her. And then she came running back to me. Interesting. And so just wanted a little follow up since that. And now we're talking online and everything seems to be going pretty well.